Hey guys, and welcome back to the finale, and indeed the final chapter of Professor Layton and the Curious Village. Look at all these mysteries we've solved. 2 of them.
All 2. Enjoy all 2 mysteries within Professor Layton and the Curious Village.
We did tell you the plot was kind of back-ended in these games.
Well, yeah, I think they improved that quite a lot in the sequels. You solved the mysteries at a much more even pace throughout those. And also, whenever you completed a mystery, it stayed on that screen so you could read up on that mystery.
Okay, who is talking to us here? Asking to see if we solve puzzles. Is that like God? God hears you, Professor Layton, and you've solved 80% of the game. You may continue.
You'll find out soon enough, don't you worry. This is a very, very plot-heavy kind of video.
Oh god, yes.
Man, I remember going to this dungeon when I played Eye of the Beholder. It was a pretty good experience, and I think they're dead now that they just fall.
Cue credits.
I do quite like the effect that they did there of the sprites actually dropping.
Oh, Professor, I landed on me bum! Oh, great, another excuse to use battered Luke.
I'm so embarrassed, Professor.
Oh yeah, this is definitely final dungeon music.
Yeah, see, Layton doesn't show any damage because nobody drew a sprite with him being damaged, so basically he's invincible.
Okay, that's either a fridge or some kind of electronic device, but it bears the same symbol that was on the cog, so I say j'accuse to you.
Yeah, it's clearly the fridge's fault.
Also, there are a bunch of cogs here, so...
Wow, it's like a hit list.
Why would there be keys next to each person?
Well, you unlock the keys to their heart.
Oh.
It's a very Japanese thing, naturally.
I think you're thinking emotionally and not mentally here.
Well, I suspect if the game is kind of rolling where I think it's rolling, we'll find out in about a minute or 2.
Well, you know where it's rolling, we're just playing dumb right now for the sake of the audience. Right, don't step on anything, we want to leave this place as it was.
Crunch.
Well, no, we want
Crunch.
to find a hint coin first.
What, even here?
Yep, even here.
There's always money in the walls.
I do not like the look of those eyes at the bottom of the screen.
Puzzle? No, of course not.
No, it's plot, once again.
Well, no one's around, I'm just going to have a little bit of a shufty, and we shall move towards the finale.
Also, oh my god, that is actually amazing. If you look at the diagrams that are beneath the notebook, it actually reveals what we're about to find out just before we find it out.
Can you guess the twist?
I do like how the diary is basically, like, diaries in every game, they're always super cryptic and they never directly state what's going on. It's like when you find a file in Resident Evil, the thing we have been going towards is about to happen, but watch out for the stuff, and they never talk about it specifically.
Oh, it's the shadowy intruder.
Beat him up! Use your fist, Luke, attack!
Oh, he has a name, he's fine.
You know what's really odd?
Mm-hmm.
Bruno sort of reminds me of Yanni Yogi
A little bit, yeah.
in Ace Attorney. He's got that same sort of older, slightly aloof fella thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
Although he's actually really remarkably intelligent, like a genius.
He's a mechanical mastermind.
Yeah.
A good variety, which is a nice change of pace.
Yeah, not like that whole Dr. Wily business with Don, his last name.
Yeah.
I'm just not even gonna try and say it anymore. Don P, the big P, the P-Meister.
Thank you.
Good thing Layton has like a huge ranking in diplomacy, so he's really acing all of these roles.
Yeah, this is a weird turn for Fallout 4, but I'm willing to roll with it. Yes, that is, why I came to St. Mystere to begin with.
The problem is that the golden apple was eaten by a hungry, hungry hippo.
It's going to turn out to be a metaphor. You know how these mysteries go.
That's true. Oh, let me guess, the apple was inside you all along, just reach in there, pull out jewels.
Paul is going to be pissed about that.
What kind of stupid shit is that? I wish we brought Paulie with us just to hate everything. It would be amazing. I mean, we'd get tired of him eventually, but the journey would be worth it.
Man, you sure do like talking about yourself.
I am pretty great, yeah. I have been rated 5 out of 5 by people my age who are me.
So yeah, Bruno, he was tasked with leading people who would want to find the golden apple to the location of the golden apple. But of course it's not as simple as that. There are some diamond-hard puzzles along the way.
Mm-hmm.
The name is Bruno. I know the Elite Four.
Bruno's part of the Elite Four. So, he knows them, but...
Richie, stop it, mate. You're being pedantic.
Do you think Bruno also works on Thomas the Tank Engine and the others?
Mate, I think he just invented that in his spare time.
That's true.
Wait for it. I think the penny's gonna drop soon.
Oh, we stepped on these. I remember now.
Now, if you remember correctly, there are wrenches in Bruno's hat. Very handy for a mechanic to have. Yep, the villagers are all robots.
Yeah. Just out of fucking nowhere, everybody's a robot.
The most perfect, lifelike, fully functioning automatons the world has ever seen. But you know what? In this context, in the context of it being like a sleepy village, interacting with other robots instead of trying to integrate with a regular society, it works. It's crazy and out there, but it works. And in the grand scheme of the Layton games, it's pretty light-hearted.
Yeah, this is probably the most normal of all of the Layton plot twists that you will ever see.
I see a lot of people shit-talk, or hear people shit-talk, Diabolical Boxes twist, but you know what, I'll take that over the one in Lost Future.
Oh, I quite like the one in Lost Future, but then again, I like that narrative, so I guess I'm a bit biased.
Yeah, the thing about Layton games always has a lot of them really kind of focus on a seeming supernatural element, but it always turns out to be explainable, and yet the logic behind the actual explanation is often so crazy bullshit that it's really no different from the actual magic they were trying to build up to begin with.
Again, a counterpoint to Ace Attorney and all its spiritual stuff.
A little loose lipped. You sort of gave away that everybody was a fucking robot. Yeah, I think you need to work on your tact a little bit more, dude.
Hey, I'm good with my hands, not with my words, alright? Right, I think, that was a really long bit of dialogue. Oh boy. And we solved that one, and that one.
Yeah, everybody was robots. I'm pretty sure that solves a lot of mysteries.
And he was a bot, and they were bots, and they were all bots. The end.
If Mega Man were to come to this village, could he get their powers?
Well, they're not robot masters.
Yes, but they're close. Maybe he could absorb Beatrice's power to run a very nice little bed and breakfast. He gets Ramon's power to, make a distracting noise so he can run away from his enemies. Oh, hoo, what is that?
Yeah. And Paulie, of course, uncontrollable, undeniable rage.
Yeah, it's the Rage Bomber. That's Paulie's most powerful weapon. But of course, he is weak to reason and understanding.
Okay, we are moving on to the really hard puzzles now, and wouldn't you know it, some of them are block-based.
Well, the annoying thing is that actually quite a few of them are block-based. I mean, the last puzzle that we are going to have to deal with is, I believe, a sliding block puzzle.
Oh, of course.
And there are quite a few of them in the bonuses, and it's painful.
Well, I guess this is happening, because all Luke and Layton do as they go up the tower is they just stop for a little bit of a chat and talk about how the story is going. Like, did you like how this story was written? Yes, it was very good. Praise be to the director and so on. Even though it hasn't stamped some of the other mysteries, you can pretty much work out what they are. Like, what's the deal with Lady Dahlia, and so on. Why does she look like Baron Reinhold's first wife? It's kind of obvious when you take into account everyone is robots.
Yeah, that pretty much is on the nose there.
You know, Flora lost her mother. Bruno really respected his master, so he created another robot in the shape of Lady Viola. But unfortunately, it had the same personality as, the original, and that, understandably, freaked Flora the fuck out. So he changed it to be a little bit bitchy, and Lady Dahlia came into existence.
Yeah, and both named after flowers.
Black Dahlia, of course.
Mm-hmm. Which is obviously quite fitting, considering she's such a cow.
Wow. He went there.
Well, I mean, the slightly terrifying thing is that there are now 2 Dahlias in video games who are just really mean.
Wow, yeah, there's one in Ace Attorney as well.
That's freaky.
And that's why I think Layton vs Ace Attorney, even if you got qualms with the story and how it ended, works so fucking perfectly. It leans a little heavy on the Layton side, but the two things, the two properties, complement each other so well.
I mean, they're drawing from the same sort of... Well, they're not drawing from the same inspiration base, but they're drawing... You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Roughly. It's the same vibe that they're going for.
Yeah.
So they like their name puns. They like being a little bit ridiculous. But they also like having fun and having moments that are quite serious and quite deep.
They also like making a ton of sequels as possible.
Oh yeah. And in the case of Ace Attorney, they just decide to not release one over in the West and make one digital.
That works out. Well, this is Capcom we're talking about.
They didn't release Ace Attorney Investigations 2, and they don't seem to be releasing... Oh god, this side questy one.
Ace Attorney Japanese Edition.
Yeah, the Great Ace Attorney or Dai Gyakuten Saiban.
Okay, that's solved. What, is that it?
For now, yes. I think it's pretty much one per floor, almost.
I think I just gave away the Lady Dahlia twist, but like I said, robot. Obvious. She ain't real.
It's okay, she has no rights, it's fine. Push her over if you want, I don't care, she's a robot, she has no feelings.
And that's how the Great Maverick War started, let's not go down that route. And I just like to say, I'm not knocking the game for this, but it is obvious, and I don't know why they wait until almost the end of the game to go, there you go, there's your ticket stamped.
Yeah, the thing is that I think Miracle Mask does it worse. I would say Miracle Mask's plot twist is the worst in the series for me, just because I clocked it pretty much the second I started the game, and it was just really? Whereas this one was at least trying to be a bit more subtle. I'd say the entire series does a reasonably good job of giving you the subsequent parts to try and figure out what's going on yourself, but then it does have a kind of tendency to just go, let's just go even more crazy with this stuff.
That's kind of why Lost Future, apart from its tendency to trick the player with some really dickish puzzles, rubbed me the wrong way. It kind of bought into its own hype, and the ending was just a little bit too out there for me, especially given the motivation of the villain.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that you'd probably react quite similarly to the end of Azran Legacy.
Okay.
Because it's quite interesting in the fact that the prequel trilogy and the main trilogy kind of mirror each other. Because Curious Village and Spectre's Call are relatively similar in the sense that they're focused around a single village, and it's a reasonably simple mystery, and there's not much else going on.
I think that's why I like Spectre's Call so much, actually. It's very cozy.
Yeah, I think I didn't like it because it was way too much like Curious Village, and I just wanted something a bit new because I was getting a bit of Layton fatigue.
Yeah.
Then you have Pandora's Box and Miracle Mask, which try to do a variety of different things. Whether they actually succeed in that is debatable, and I think that's why they are two of the more divisive games in the series. And then you have Lost Future and Azran Legacy, which decide to go for the absolutely huge, big end-of-trilogy climax.
Okay, I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to be here. This is my tower, my battle tower now, so to speak.
How'd you even get in here? How many puzzles have you solved?
Yeah, you have to solve at least 75 puzzles to get inside. Dude, I don't believe you.
Sorry, whenever I see the word Konnichiwa, I think of Konnichiwa back at Gaijins.
I just want to see him say, hello, fellow kids.
Yeah, in the live-action adaptation, Pavel is played by Steve Buscemi.
Oh, that would be brilliant.
I also realized something. You know how earlier we all expressed the desire to slap Edger's teeth out of her mouth?
No, that was just you found an asshole.
Okay, yeah, that was just me. I just realized if I did that, she could go technically now get new ones because she's a robot. Like, who decided to make a bitchy robot? How do you program that? You know, it's like... I'm trying to think of the coding here. Do they code these robots? I assume they do. If
that
daytime,
bitch is basic.
Load bitch, else no.
That was a clever joke. Ah, Tom, I'm in this. And I'm on a higher step than Steve.
No, you're not in the suit. Don't lie.
Oh.
Who's the dumpy one?
Wow, the one on the top actually has my hairstyle.
Luke, here's my answer. Critical thinking is the key to success.
Yep, helps you solve puzzles and plot twists.
Oh, he's ascending to heaven. God has chosen me.
You did it. You solved them all, Jim.
Oh, you know what's funny? Tom was actually the top one who had your hairstyle.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, that Tom is a pretty strange fellow, I agree.
Yeah, Pavel, he appeared in the village. He was not made of the village.
Yeah, he didn't even know how he got here.
I guess the only humans in the village who are native to St. Mystere are, in fact, Flora and Bruno right now.
Well, and us, I hope. Unless Lucas has something
Native
he needs
to
to tell
St. Mystere.
Okay, I'm just checking. You never know.
Fucking every other word that comes out of my mouth is what registers. Oh, look at that Super Mario-esque question mark block over there.
I think they just thought, let's try and make a Mario reference if we can.
You know, Bruno, I know this is just meant to be a test for people, but you could, like, throw up some drapes or something, mate. This place is a mess.
Well, I mean, that, and also, you know, he could have made a lift just to transport you up the floors. It's just like, for God's sake, all these stairs.
Isn't that what they do in Lost Future?
A lift is certainly involved in Lost Future. But that is about as much as I think I'm allowed to say.
Oh boy, this one.
Why is the maiden a big fatty red square? Is this like Fat Princess?
Of all the things to ask Helldragon.
What?
Richard, your first, ignoring Helldragon, your first experience with this puzzle.
Well, I was using a guide, so it was absolutely fine, but as a puzzle, just sliding block puzzle, and it's huge, and it's horrible, and it's just like, just no.
Just more time consuming than outright hard, really.
Yeah, it's just tedious. It's why I hate the sliding block puzzles, and it's why I'm very glad that they mostly vanished come Miracle Mask and Azran Legacy.
So, Helldragon, comments?
Well, I'm certainly glad that this person has found a lot of use for his alphabet blocks to make sliding puzzles with. Although they're mentioning something like, oh, well, the fat one is the princess, and these are armed guards. I assume the long ones are like shelves they're pushing around, like, block her off, she hates reading, or something. I don't know.
Now, I suppose that now is maybe a decent time to bring up that this particular puzzle does a sort of element of foreshadowing, shall we say.
Ah, yeah, I see what you mean.
It's a very subtle thing, and it's not something that you will necessarily clock onto, even if you know exactly where... Well, if you're playing the game for the first time, it's not necessarily going to click what this is referring to. But once you have played the game and know where everything goes, this is a very fitting puzzle to be one of the final things.
We're getting there. Past Tom is just waiting for past Reggie to tell him what to do.
Well, yeah, because I mean, also it's just like, right, move the top right green block down and left, and it's just like, there are so many green blocks here.
You know, if this was a game of Puzzle League, I could totally clear this puzzle for you guys.
You fucking love Puzzle League, don't you?
Puzzle League is an amazing game, and I'm so mad they're not making any more of those. But no, we gotta get that fucking Pokemon Trozy shit, mobile game crap or whatever. No, even multiplayer for that. Thanks a lot, I guess.
That's a good point, I guess. We've talked about puzzles. I don't think we've said what our favourite type of puzzle game is. Like, Helldragon, would I be correct in saying Panel de Pon is your favourite type of puzzle game?
Absolutely. I love those versus types of puzzle games, matching stuff and things like that. If it's got a really cool kind of battle mode to go against someone, those kind tend to be my favorite. That, even normal Tetris in particular, just having that little option for competition, that kind of stuff is great. Stuff like, the more traditional puzzles we've been seeing so far in Layton, not exactly my cup of tea. Unless there was a competitive sliding block puzzle mode, then I would totally be in on that.
What about you, Richard?
I would say it is probably these types of puzzles. I am not really a puzzle person in general. I'm very much a story person or an action gameplay type person. But I think when it's put into this particular type of context, as it is in Layton, I do quite enjoy these types of logic puzzles and stuff, as long as it is figure-outable, if I'm putting it in a reasonable way.
Yeah.
When it's just the type of thing that you just it's just bullshitting you the entire way through, then I don't like it. But these are generally logic-based.
As an add-on, I do also like, some of those kind of puzzles you meet in other games, like, say, the Zelda series. I've always loved those puzzles where you're on the ice and you're, like, sliding, and you always slide in one direction, you have to get to the door. I always love those, and I tend to be good at those. I also like the ones where you have to step on all those tiles, like every single one in like a single path. I tend to like those a lot. But most of the time, I guess, it really does depend on the type of puzzle. I also like logic puzzles. If the puzzle stays for too long and overstays as welcome to prevent me from continuing the plot, that's when I get a little antsy about it.
My favourite, in terms of video games, would probably be the puzzle platformer. Kind of like practical puzzles, like Abe's Odyssey is a favourite of mine. I think Exodus was like a little bit too much. It was a bit like Banjo-Tooie. It tried to throw too much into the mix, but that's just personal opinion. It doesn't really have any bearing on the quality of the game. Portals 1 and 2. I would say more Portal 1, Portal 2, and a few gimmicks here and there, but both solid games, and Abe's Odyssey and Exodus, very, very solid games.
What are you doing here?
She's stalking Professor Layton, obviously.
Well, I'm gonna kick her out, and then Bruno can fix her to remove that particular character deficit.
Yeah, it's just a glitch. Don't worry about it.
That's true. Unless, of course, the machines have developed their own sense of self-awareness, in which case we might truly be in trouble.
Just give yourself over to the overlords, dearie. I'm sorry, what? Give yourself over to me, dearie.
Well, both of those sound pretty bad.
I'm gonna need a second what there?
Go ahead, Mr. Layton.
Good.
We're all fans of Darby around here.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Full House.
Yahtzee.
I think I got a bingo.
Uno.
That lady had a huge rack, too.
Thank you, Helldragon. We almost got through that entire puzzle without you mentioning the cleavage. Good stuff.
Well, to be fair, she did sink our battleship back there, so...
Helldragon's mission statement is, if there are tits, I shall comment on them.
Okay, I'll comment on anything as long as I think I can make a joke out of it, to be honest with you.
Helldragon, are you Esoon by any chance?
Am I a what? What did you call me? Esoon, is that how you pronounce it? I always pronounce it Esoon.
Well, I think we've figured out by now that you're not exactly great at pronouncing things.
Oh, well.
No, I don't know. That's the way I've always pronounced it, but that character.
Not really a fan of how the guardrail only goes slightly around the perimeter, Professor.
Yeah, that's kind of antsy there. Oh, look, it's the England sky.
On any given day, really.
Every day.
Even if it's sunny out, it just somehow looks like that.
Yeah, and then just randomly we'll just get a random rainstorm for no apparent reason, and then it'll disappear for about 5 seconds and be glorious sunshine, followed by another torrential downpour.
Oh, if you're a fan of the number 3, you're gonna love this puzzle.
Yeah, what's like the weather report for you guys over there? Like, when they put up those pictures, like the 5-day forecast, all of the suns are covered by oppressive clouds, and you just see a little sliver of sun underneath it. It's sunny, but you probably aren't going to believe us.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much most of the time it is sun with a bit of cloud. Or rain.
The worst kind of weather, I think, is when it's sunny just after it's rained.
Humid and wet.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that either.
Because if you're an introvert, you'll often be looking at the ground when you're walking along like a path and such, and the sun reflects off the water and into your fucking eyes, and why do you even bother going outside at that point?
So that's what I look like.
Yeah, it's not the sun, it's the truth that's blinding me.
She blinded me with the truth. Da 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 da.
Now, I feel it's probably prudent just to quickly point out that that last puzzle has two solutions. One is 41286 minus 7953, or 41268 minus 7935. Either
Problem is, can I use those numbers as somebody's credit card? Because that's what that sounds like.
No.
At this point, they're just basically going through all the plot points and solving the mysteries. I didn't really spoil anything. Given the information that you had at the time, you could have solved that yourself.
Yeah, they do make it really obvious by the time you realise that they're all robots. Although I have to say, maybe robots isn't quite the right term to use for them, because obviously robot means slave, and that's not quite accurate for these guys.
Well, if you want to get philosophical about it, they were built to perform a specific function, and I guess I'll leave that one, because we're not at that point of the story yet.
True, but then sort of, they just end up living their own life in the end, so I don't know whether robot is quite fitting.
I guess, well, an easy way to tell if Lady Dahlia was a robot is just see that giant wind-up key she's covering up on her back. Oh, okay.
Bruno's a bit more of an artiste than that. He wouldn't be so obvious.
Although I have to admit, I understand why Flora is scared seeing her mother back. You know, even though it wasn't her mother, as a robot that was nearly exactly the same, yeah, that freaked me out too.
Well, given that Flora used to play peacefully around her mother's grave, to see her mother come back, yeah, I'd be fucking scared too. I wouldn't even go visit the grave after that.
Well, no, I think what happened is that because of Lady Dahlia, Flora then went to go and play around the grave so that she was with her actual mother.
Okay.
But, I mean, it's still incredibly morbid.
Okay, I got my facts jumbled up there. Let's move on.
Yes, to the last puzzle of the game.
I like this room because if you look closely enough, you can find Layton's ultimate weapon in here. It's very hard to find, but it gives him the most damage.
I like this room because it reminds me of Nightmare.
Yeah, I'm getting like a huge Nightmare vibe from this, actually, especially with the way the tower is so kooky designed.
Yeah, I happen to really love, like, either going up a tower or down a tower. I guess I'm a fan of, like, King of the Hill or something. The game time, not the show, but the show is fine.
Okay. So King of the Hill Halo then, alright.
Yeah. Well, I'd just like an assault course going up or down a tower, I think would be the better way to describe it.
For me, it needs to be like a walking course, because I couldn't do anything more than that.
Oh, here we go, Richard.
The final puzzle of the game, and I feel I should point out that I may have made a slight fact cock-up earlier on in the playthrough, because when I was talking about the Puzzle Master, I think I was referring to Akahiro Hino, who's the guy who produced the Layton series. He's not the one who did all the puzzles. That was, in fact, Akira Tago, who was behind a popular quiz book series called Atama no Taiso, which is head gymnastics.
I think you mentioned that fact.
Yeah, so I think we got it roughly, but I kind of cocked up who was the puzzle master for Professor Layton.
Well, it's too late at this point, mate. It's been weeks and weeks of, you got it wrong!
Pretty much. Oh well, it's fine, we will live.
So what are we going to do here, Richard?
You have got to make as many squares as possible.
Oh, you've got to fill all the pegs.
Yeah, so, I mean, you can only make 7 squares, but you've got to be able to actually physically make them, and they can't use the same pegs.
Okay.
So, this is one which is pretty much a trial and error thing, but, oh my god, trying to describe this thing to you was bonkers.
Now, you don't have to use alternate colours, but Richie, At some point, just decide, you know what, we're doing this, it's the final puzzle, just spruce it up a bit.
Yeah, make it all nice and presentable for this momentous occasion. Look, it's a party, everybody's invited except you.
Just a happy little cube right there.
I mean, the thing is that when we get the final image, every single square has a different colour, so you kind of want to try and replicate that, in a way, but they don't give you enough colours, which is kind of annoying.
What a bunch of assholes.
Look, it's Christmas!
I can actually see the last two ones, like even before I started pushing this along.
I can too. I think I've really brought this puzzle together.
Yeah, we couldn't have actually done this playthrough without you. You've been a tremendous help, mate.
Yes, yeah, thank you very much, and I really appreciate, helping you guys out, because clearly you've needed the assistance.
Thank you.
Just stop, I'm editing that out, what are you doing? I'm gonna edit you out of doing that to yourself, thanks.
When this playthrough actually goes on YouTube, all your lines will be overdubbed by Steve Buscemi.
Another puzzle solved.
So yes, 4,205 Picarats, that's what we're ending on.
Fucking why?
That's a terrible number, yeah.
That said, I don't know whether I prefer the American total. I mean, it maybe slightly is cleaner because it's 4,175.
That's not much better.
But it is still just like, no, just 4,200. Just leave it there.
Oh, just 4,000.
4,000, 5,000, making a nice round number, yeah.
I mean, I think once you've completed all of the puzzles in the puzzle houses, then you do have a nice even number of Picarats.
Yeah,
And-
we ain't showed those off, though.
Yeah, and okay, never mind. It's even worse if you complete the puzzle houses because you either have 5,312 Picarats in the US version or 5,302 in the UK version, so it completely flips. What?
Mo CD. Yeah, we completed every puzzle in the story. Congrats, pat yourself on the back.
And I helped!
I'm trying. Can't quite reach. Okay, I got it.
Can't quite smack you over there in the US. Let me just reach, almost got it.
So yeah, the tower was designed to basically wear out people looking for the golden apple, because there is only one person, or two I guess, worthy of reaching said golden apple.
Mm-hmm. And we have only one more hint coin to go.
Maybe this is the one I missed.
I don't even know, but we will have 200 hint coins.
See, how come that's a round number, but the Picarats aren't?
God only knows.
It's like a mini encapsulation of everything about England. The dreary skies, the very nice Victorian houses, the grass. Okay, well, I guess lots of places have grass.
Yes, Cell Dragon. Yes, solved. Rare footage of the save screen.
So they actually give you like a prompt to save your game right then and there?
It's after every chapter, I believe.
Yeah, pretty much whenever a chapter starts, they give you the option to save.
Fucking Layton and Luke in the end.
I feel so good with this crown.
Alright, time to head on in, I believe. This is the point of no return.
Exactly, so if you are missing any puzzles and want to go back and get them, now is, well, that screen is the time to go back. Otherwise you're going straight into the epilogue.
The end game puzzle boss battle. You must solve 15 sliding puzzles to defeat me.
This room is unbelievably gaudy. Find out who designed it.
It is a hack. You're correct.
God?
It's me, Margaret. Oh, it is Margaret.
Surprising no one, it's Mysterious Girl. Oh, I want to solve a puzzle with you.
Attack, Luke. Use that technique I taught you.
Wait for it.
There's a girl underneath this.
Wait for it. Of course, the Mysterious Girl was Flora Reinhold, surprising nobody.
Mm-hmm. And fun fact, she is voiced by Lanny Minella, just as US Luke is, and just as the majority of the female characters in the Layton universe are.
Great music. I think this is Flora's theme, don't quote me on that.
If you give me a few moments, I might be able to tell you.
Ah, good old Richie.
Well, I see the genius, but maybe you should explain it to me, Layton.
Yeah, I totally understand it, but I wouldn't mind a refresher course.
Exactly. Just to help Richie out here. You know, he needs the help. It's just, we do what we can.
So Saint Mystere was basically... It was ahead of its time, in more ways than one, advanced robotics. Kind of like a grand reality show sort of thing. Baron Augustus Reinhold, along with Bruno, wanted to create a village in which his daughter would be safe, and also, had people in it that would look after her.
Yeah, unfortunately he decided to make them all robots, so she wasn't really dealing with people, and so that kind of is a bit harsh when you think about it, because it's just like, yes, I'm going to leave you alone with a bunch of robots and no friends.
He meant well, but, the execution leaves a lot to be desired. He didn't have a lot of time, he was dying.
Speaking of assholes...
And so on. Don Paolo, also voiced by the same guy who does Layton and Chelmy.
Mm-hmm.
They're all really unique voices as well, which is what I find pretty appealing.
Don't worry, Luke, I fought this boss 100 times in Sonic. It will work out very fine. I mean, dude, what are you doing?
This next puzzle is to spell escalation.
Spell Faraga at this point, what with this music. I really do like the P-Meister's theme, though. It's really jaunty and funny, and again, it is the Final Fantasy VII boss theme.
Well, it kind of clues you into how nuts he is, because it's all over the place, whereas Layton's is, very prim and proper, like, do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Luke, did you pack the missile launcher I told you to pack? Let me dig in my bag, sir!
Also, Luke is a master jumper.
He's also wearing a master jumper.
I have an idea. I'm going to fist fight that guy.
Yeah, good luck getting out of here on your own, boy.
Do you know how to execute a spin attack?
Alright, let's just head back to the top of the tower. Realistically, that is the safest place to be right now.
I missed some hit coins up here. Give me a moment.
Where is it? Is it inside the globe?
Just shaking everything up. Professor, what are you doing? Knocks the globe up. I'm looking for hit coins.
I fucking love this cutscene. This is by far the highlight of the game.
Oh, it's wonderful.
First proper use of Layton's theme outside of the title screen.
Mm-hmm.
He's going on MacGyver on everything.
I need the string.
He's actually building like a railgun.
Now you see, my dear, we have this thing called ammunition. I'm going to load you into the cannon and fire you at Don Paolo. Goodbye. No, he's creating a glider device.
Oh, I saw that in Avatar once. Did you put any guns on this, Professor? Ah, well, I had to make do.
It was a bit of a rush job.
Wow, I wonder what the inside of his mouth looked like. Thank you.
Okay, you're taking this whole rivalry thing a bit far. You're about to... Well, you almost became a murderer there.
I think he's about to do himself in. Oh no, my bodies!
That was Simon in the back, by the way. He was trying to steal the technology so he could basically steal the idea and, I guess, sell it on.
Pretty much. I mean, that is, I think, how he dealt with most of his scientific breakthroughs.
Stuck the landing. 7 out of 5, IGN.
Too much water around the village.
Yeah. Sorry, you caught me off guard there. Brilliant scene.
I think I like this better than the whole end of Diabolical Box, that climax.
Man, that was an emotional ending. I mean, the ending of this is emotional, but I don't know. Diabolical Box gets a lot of shit, but I thought how the twist was handled was pretty smart. But we're not here to talk about that, we're here to talk about this.
Exactly, and hopefully one day we will get to go to Pandora's Box and Lost Future.
Yeah.
I will continually push for that to happen.
It's nice to see Flora smile. I bet she hasn't smiled much over the past few years. I mean, she lost her mother at a young age, I believe. She lost her father. And just been alone for so long.
Pretty much.
And back there she had the mark of the beast. I don't know what was going on.
No, that was the mark of the golden apple.
Well, she'll get superpowers either way, right?
Now, this is probably a very unsubtle and kind of pointless time to bring this up, but there is something that we're going to be doing in a few moments' time,
yes,
which allows you to get a really awkward and hilarious bit of dialogue, which you get if you don't click in the right place.
Yes, it's something along the lines of Layton saying, "Now, Luke, be a gentleman."
Pretty much, yes, because, I mean, you'll see shortly, but it's just like, oh, that's a slight instance of getting crap past the radar.
Yeah, so Don Parr just crash-landed in the village, and that was the big rumble we heard at the start of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So the golden apple, it wasn't a treasure, it was a person.
Yeah, the metaphor of these treasures are always metaphors. You know, it's never anything direct, like, you will win $672,000 and you'll get a new car and all things like that. But the car was inside you the whole time.
Oh god, get it out, I'm dying.
I mean, the thing that I quite like about this one, and it's something that I've only just thought about right now, and it's very unsubtle, but it's still quite nice, is the fact that Flora is the golden apple because she was the apple of Augustus Reinhold's eye.
And she's gold because, well, Daddy's little girl is treasure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, when her, like, birthmark appeared about the apple, is that, like, what happens when you put, like, warm water on stuff? It, like, changes color? Things like that?
Laughter is the key, yes.
And this is what I was referring to. We're going to be pressing on the painting, and if you touch Flora's breast area, that is where you get the Layton saying, "Luke, you need to be a gentleman."
Just don't be a shithead, okay, Luke? I'm watching you.
Did anyone actually use that hint?
Probably not. They make it so clear where you're meant to be pressing that I think you'd be daft to not realise that it's there.
She's got a button in her neck.
Amazing, in all these years, no one ever accidentally brushed up against the painting, although I guess you did have to apply, like, a minimal amount of force in order to activate the button.
Put in and clean in here.
Mate, this chamber has probably been sealed for years.
Would you say it's a chamber of secrets?
Then a basilisk comes out and eats Flora. Oops.
Well, God, I guess I really was on the money there.
I mean, it'd be more Smaug coming out of the Chamber of Secrets, because obviously it's a massive treasure hoard.
Well, I knew Reinhold left his treasure somewhere.
Well, that would explain the dragon guarding it.
Well, you know how much Smaug likes riddles. They're not technically puzzles, but,
It only appears once she laughs? That's a weird trigger for that kind of birthmark.
No, there was one last requirement that Reinhold wanted. He set all this up to get a potential guardian for Flora, you know, one who was actually of flesh and blood. And he wanted someone who could make her smile again after all the tragedy in her life, and Layton pretty much fits that bill. That's kind of like the catchphrase for the series. That's unbelievable, Professor, but it all makes sense now.
That's bullshit, Professor, but I believe it. Oh, it's the ghost of her father. Oh my god, it is the ghost of her father. You see, I recorded this ahead of time just in case we were to meet, and I know everything you're going to say.
I'd laugh if we knew about Layton ahead of time, and he was just one of like 100 like different candidates. So it had a little camera connected to the voice box. Oh, Flora and Layton, and also dear Luke. That's why I just stuck you in a realm of robots. Nothing's more happy than knowing that everyone is basically fake.
Very responsible of him, I agree.
Hire a fucking babysitter.
Or make a fucking babysitter, that's what they did.
How to ruin Curious Village's story in 5 words. Hire a fucking babysitter already. I have not longed for this world-itis.
Yeah, I got a second opinion. You dying, dude.
You straight up dead.
Yeah, Bruno, this is like the best freelance assignment Bruno has ever gotten. He could build like a whole business off of this. Hello, my name is Bruno. Do you need a robot for your wedding, funeral, or other reception? I can help.
Flora's not that old. I would wager only about, 10 years or so has passed. Bruno fucking aged like a bitch.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess you would when you're trying to keep track of an entire village filled with robots and you have to do most of your work at night.
Also, I'd like to point out, the game never states that Bruno leaves the village once Layton and Luke head off.
Yeah, so basically, he's just going to die here alone with his robots.
Well, they're his children.
It's true, but then nobody will grieve him.
I like that Polly was a robot because nobody can make that level of rage in real life from a real person. You have to be built from the beginning to be that white hot mad.
So yeah, if we take the treasure, then the robots will cease to be, and I guess Bruno will get a break.
Wait, is it like holding down a pressure plate? What's going on?
Yeah, it's just on a really big fucking pressure plate, I guess.
That's just like... That doesn't even make sense. Do they run on gold? No, that's how Bruno gets his delivery pizza. Okay.
But I would say this does introduce a really interesting kind of moral quandary, because the entire purpose of the village was to get Flora a guardian, and this money is there to give Flora a good life, but it is the only thing that keeps the village running. So it's just like, do you destroy everything that's here, that's got a sort of a life of its own and has developed a life of its own, just for the sake of Flora, or do you let it all continue to live?
Yeah, because he left this money for her, so it would only be for her benefit. And obviously, since only someone like Layton could make it here, he wouldn't, blow all the money.
Well, I don't know. You could buy a lot of puzzles with this.
Also, title drop.
Yes.
Truly, we are a curious village.
Fuck you!
You made that joke earlier in the playthrough, I think.
Yeah, you said it near the end, so that's what people will remember. And scene.
No apples for anyone. Don't eat a golden apple. It does not work out very well.
Leaves it kind of ambiguous what they're doing here. What you don't see is the explosions in the background. Dun, 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 like a little timer appears. You must leave St. Mystere before the timer runs out.
You gotta solve puzzles along the way before the bombs go off.
Oh, I believe we've come to the final cutscene of the game.
We have indeed.
So, Richie, Curious Village.
I love it to pieces. It's not, in the end, my favourite Layton game because there are others that have surpassed it. But as a start to the series, it's just wonderful.
Helldragon.
Well, I really love the atmosphere, I love the setting, I like the plot, the mystery, all of the twists that come along the way. I like how it sets the stone for everything in the future Layton games. I really like Curious Village a ton, and it, felt really good to kind of sit through it again with you guys.
Wow, really does sound like she smoked a pack of 50 a day. I don't know what Lanny Minella was going for there. Whatever, going through puberty, I guess, was Flora at the time. I do like Curious Village a hell of a lot. For the first game in the series, they really did pretty much nail 99% of what they set out to do. I just feel later games in the series did stuff better, and I just like Diabolical Box a lot more. But it's like what Helldragon and Richie have said, the atmosphere, the characters, the story, the music. It's just a wonderful game, really, and that's why I picked it as the second playthrough of my month of birth.
Luke, we must keep this a secret, so make sure to tell your pen pal everything that happened.
Ah yes, dear old HFC. Ha 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 ha. And speaking of, we have been HFC. We'll see you all next time for another HellfireComms playthrough down the line. Bye bye for now.
See ya.
See you then.